1999 Honda Civic with a D series motor. We're gonna case swap it. So I bought the car in Germany and shipped it over to the US. I brought it into the port of Baltimore, and we're going to case swap this car. We have a K24A2 that we're going to put in the vehicle.
Right now it's got the D16. It originally came with the D14 from Germany. The D14, it's a really small engine with weaker rods, and so that one blew up when we had to swap it over to the D16, and it's still not making the power we want out of it, so we're just going to go with the K series. We're going to K swap it. Frankenstein head, so we're going to do a K20 top end and hopefully make a good series out of this. We'll see how it goes. The whole, all right. It's dented.
No, it's not, bro.
Look at it.
Oh, okay. I'll pull it with the sucker. My bad. That sucks. I will have to not sit on it again. All right. So this is the pre-case swap drive. It has a D16 in it. We swapped it up to the D16. Formerly D14. Pretty tame, not too crazy.
Now, the first step was to go to the junkyard and pick up our engine, which is a K24A2 out of an Acura TSX. The engine itself was really dirty and had 190,000 miles on it, so it wasn't the best option, but it's what we decided to work with. But I'm excited to get working on it, so I began inspecting the engine, pulling stuff off of it, just to clean it out, and I began with the intake manifold and worked my way down to individual engine accessories, such as the AC, alternator, or water pump. But this is harder than I expected because the engine was absolutely filthy. Rip off. Oh my goodness. It was so dirty. I did some off-camera cleaning work, going through about a gallon of Simple Green and tons of brass wire brushes. And no, I'm not very happy about the condition of the coolant system either. It looks like someone definitely used some coolant stop leak, meaning there could have been a head gasket fault. So we're gonna have to pull the engine head anyway. So Eric and I took a trip down to Cincinnati for a K20Z3 head off of a 2007 Honda Civic Si. We got it for an absolute steal for about $300. And when I got back, I cleaned it out thoroughly and decided to replace the valve stem seals to prevent oil from burning in the future. So I went with the SuperTech valve stem seals from Hybrid Racing, removing the valve springs, which is an interesting process and is very important to make sure everything's organized. So I'm using a divider tray with a lid to make sure everything remains in its right spot. And here I'm removing the valves, labeling them, and then putting them in their corresponding tray. Now I'm coming back to the engine head later to do some valve lapping, but for now, let's move on to our K24 engine. So now that we've got it all clean, I can begin the tear down process. All I did was remove the valve cover, and I'm moving on to the timing cover now. For anyone doing this, you definitely want an organizing tray for this because there are all kinds of bolts that go in certain places in the timing cover, and the oil pan bolts into it as well. With the timing cover removed, I want to get to the oil pan because I want to expose those stupid balance shafts. Finally delete them because we're swapping over to the Acura RSX Type S oil pump, which increases oil flow, increases horsepower, increases engine RPMs. It's just going to be the best of every world, really. So I'm going to start removing all of these bolts from the oil pan, and I'm actually going to leave it tilted upright so that I don't get any oil on this clean engine block that I spent so much time cleaning. It was a mess, but here we go. All right, we finally have the oil pan bolts out, and I'm going to try to pry it off. Unfortunately, Honda did not leave us with as many leverage points as there was for the timing cover, but I can still try to get the oil pan off right here and right here, and I'm going to try to be really even with it, work it around probably with a flathead screwdriver and be as careful as possible. And yes, I left the flex plate on from the old automatic transmission. Obviously that's got to go, but here we go. Ow, that kind of hurt. Okay, so the scraper snapped a little bit. Look, if you're separating an oil pan, just use an oil pan separating tool. Now, I couldn't find mine at the time, but I actually just found it before editing this video, so. Back to the drawing board. I'm going back to using this. It was able to free up a little bit of a gap, so maybe I can push this in there. Removing some of the paint. If you don't have the tool, I actually wouldn't use these. Oh! Oh! Yes! Let's go. All right, and I didn't damage the oil pan too much. There's no dents. That's good. Use a mallet. Come on. Woo! Yes, sir. Oil pan is off, guys. At long last. There's still a lot of oil in here. Considering I drained it like multiple times, still to the engine. I have a question for you guys. Is oil supposed to look like this? Did we get the forbidden chocolate milk? Hold up. Okay, so it looks like I'm going to have to remove this rear water outlet because it's in the way of the stand if I spin the engine around to remove the balance shafts and the oil pump. So I'm going to remove this real quick, and that's okay. I mean, I'm planning on swapping this over to the K20Z3 head anyway, so that works out. So this K24A2 makes it pretty easy. You just have 4 fasteners right here. You have a nut here and then 2 underneath. All right, so I lied. It looks like on the K24A2 you have this bracket here, which actually secures it on in another way. Unlike the K20Z3 head over there is a different scenario. There it is. Here it comes. Ooh, there's some dried coolant powder in there. I can already see it. Yeah, you can see it falling out. It just means it needs a coolant flush. Nothing severe. It does look pretty chalky in there, I'm not gonna lie. Oh my goodness. I am gonna have to flush it out and clean it out because look at that. That is disgusting. So now we can finally turn the engine over. Let's see it. Okay. You can see more powder come out the bottom than fluids. And here we have the nasty balance shafts. Look at this massive oil pump. It's going to be some weight reduction too. Holy smokes. So I'm going to be replacing all of this because I have a replacement chain, guide, and tensioner for the oil pump, as well as the whole oil pump itself. So look at the difference. That's going to be so much better. All right, so it looks like this requires a 5mm Allen wrench. I can just eyeball these being 10 mil. These are 12 mil, 14. I'm going to have to remove the oil pump assembly in order to maneuver it out. So I'm going to start breaking these bolts loose so that I can take it off. Whew. You can actually hear air escaping. Whew. That's it. But without further ado, yeah, I just threw those across there. But without further ado, let's see. Well, looks like that's it. And the stupid oil pump chain would come off. Okay, there we go. And there we have it. We have the entire balance shaft and oil pump assembly right here. Pretty dirty and oily. Disgusting. So for those of you wondering how this works, it basically pumps oil because that's what an oil pump does. You can see these giant balance shafts. Can't wait to get rid of them. Well, that's the end of our video. Please subscribe to our channel so I can keep making content, and I'm going to keep posting more consistently, so keep those notifications on so you stay updated in our process. See you in the next one.